Welcome back to the channel. We're back in our Lorwyn Commander deck profile to it. Sygg, Wanderwine Wisdom. For 1 in a blue, you get 2/2 that can't be blocked. And whenever this creature enters or transforms into Sygg, Wanderwine Wisdom, target creature gains. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, draw a card until end of turn. And at the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay white and transform him into Sygg, Wanderbrine Shield. Whenever this creature transforms, target creature you control gains protection from each color of your choice until next turn. You keep transforming him at the first of every main phase. First main phase of every turn. So, overall, pretty good ability. That ability also doesn't say target creature you control, so you could play a little bit group hug style, giving your opponents a little bit of draw power while you're at it, making a little bit of benefit off of that, while you're making your creatures unblockable and getting all those good equipment abilities that say whenever this creature deals damage, do X, Y, and Z. But that's just the general overview of the deck. Let's get into it card by card. Starting us off, we have an Arcane Signet for a little bit of mana. We're only a 2-mana commander, but still, a lot of stuff on our deck. It costs a lot of mana, especially many cards we're going to be drawing. Binding of Dasa, we have an unblockable commander. We're going to be dealing some commander damage, which means that whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card, which is exactly what we're doing. Bloodforged Battle Axe, whenever equip creatures +2/+0, and whenever equip creature deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of this card. So, we're dealing on combat damage, we're up to 2 axes already. And we'll just keep on going as we get more and more unblockable creatures that are drawing us cards. Buster Sword, not that many things that cost like a lot to cast. It's just that we're going to be drawing a lot of cards, so that's why we need more mana. But giving our creatures that +3/+2, along with allowing our creatures to cheat in some more creatures, get some more damage on the board, helps us out a whole bunch. Felwar Stone for some additional mana. Fire Shrieker gives our creatures double strike, meaning that we get to draw 2 cards every time off of Sygg's ability, or 2 cards off of Binding Dasa, 2 cards off a bunch of things. Holy Avenger, equip creatures double strike. Once again, we like that double strike. We'd like to draw 2 cards rather than just 1. Deals combat damage to the player. You may put an aura card from your hand onto the battlefield attached to it. We don't really have any auras, but still, the double strike is mostly what we're looking for there. I think the only one we have is Sigil of Sleep, which we'll be getting to in a little bit. Lightning Grease to make sure that Sygg can attack the turn he comes down. Only thing is with the Shroud that you can't attack other equipment onto this creature. So just make sure you equip this last and then start swinging on your opponent. Mask of Memory, allowing you to draw some cards, discard some cards, mostly draw some cards, because we're going hand positive with this one. Draw 4, discard 2, if we get the double strike on that with that. Soul Ring for some extra mana. Swiftfoot Boots to make sure creatures can attack the turn they come down. Sword of Feast and Famine, protection from black and from green, giving our creature also discard a card and untap all lands you control. Oh, sorry, the person dealing damage to discard a card, not yourself. But untapping all our lands, super useful, allow us to use those cards we drew off of Sygg's other ability. Sword of Fire and Ice, protection from red and from blue. Deal 2 damage to any target, draw 2 cards. Draw power is nice. No, you don't draw 2 cards, you just draw a card. But dealing the lightning bolt to your opponent's creatures, also really useful, especially because they couldn't block your creature in the first place. Sword Origin Frontier, +2/+2, protection from red and from green, helping it make it even harder to block the creature. Exile top 2 cards of your library, giving you some extra cards to cast, and also playing an additional land, always useful, especially when you're in the Azorius. Sword Hearth and Home, allowing you to blink a creature, get some additional lands, both things we like to see. And protection from green and from white. Sword of the Animus, +1/+1, some additional lands, both things we like to do, we like lands. Sword and War and Peace, protection from red and from white, deal damage equal to the number of cards in your hand, and gain 1 life for each card in your hand. That could be a lot of damage to your opponent, especially if we drew the cards first, especially if we have double strike and we're drawing the cards twice. Talisman of Progress for some extra mana. Keys to the Vault, another good one for when we deal damage to our opponent. We get a free card off the top of our deck based on how much damage we dealt. Dawn Vessel and Wayfarer's Bauble, both for some good sources of mana. Landra Skydreamer, anytime we deal damage with Sygg, that's an extra draw power for us. So, we want to do just that. Enduring Curiosity, another one that whenever we deal combat damage to our opponent, we get to draw some cards. We're dealing plenty of damage to our opponent. Let's draw some cards. Ghostly Pilfer, another unblockable creature. We're going to have some excess cards in our hand, so we don't really care about having to discard a card to do that. Also some draw power when our opponents cast their commanders, and some draw power when he's untapped. Gregor, Shrewd Magistrate, Skulk, so basically unblockable because he's 1/3. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to his power. I mean, if we put some swords on him, make him unblockable with Sygg's ability, even better. Harbinger of the Seas, non-basic lands are islands. We're mostly in blue. We don't really care about that. Like too much. Like, we're mostly just trying to play blue. Judge's Familiar, counterspell. Your opponent is going to think twice about casting their stuff with, but you're going to also use it to attack them. Mother of Runes for some extra protection there. Make sure Sygg could stick around. River Sneak for another unblockable creature. This way we have more things to get those equipment abilities off with. Seafloor Oracle. You control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. We like to draw cards, don't we? Selfless Spear for some more protection. Strike Force, another creature that could have double strike, dealing damage twice to our opponent, getting those equipment abilities off twice, and draw power off twice. Slitterblade for another unblockable creature. Starwinder for that draw power ability we've been seeing a few times. Stony Brook, Bonneret. Island Walk, Merfolk spells, and Wizard spells cost 1 less to cast. There's a little bit of cost reduction for our Merfolk. In theory, you can run this whole deck as Merfolk, just not what we were going for. Yunagi of Kyoshi Island. So remember how I said we could give that draw power to our opponent's creatures. We could also get to draw 2 cards if we make them draw those 2 cards, if we manage to blink our creature. Triton Shorestalker, can't be blocked, another unblockable creature, more damage to our opponent, more deal damage effects. Vodalian, Wave Knight. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on each other Merfolk or Knight you control. It's that much more of a strong unblockable creature we got there. On to the second half of the deck. We have Coastal Piracy. Oh, 1 second. There we go. This way, when we deal damage to our opponent, we get to draw some cards. Cosmos Mission, same thing. I think that's the last one. That Sigil of Sleep. This way, when we deal damage to our opponent, which we're going to be doing, we also get to bounce one of their creatures back to their hand. Staggering Insight, giving our creatures that draw power ability we've been liking to see, along with some lifelink while we're at it. And Teferi's Ageless Insight. This way, since we're drawing cards, we may as well draw 2. Why stop at 1? For our instance, we have an Offer You Can't Refuse for a counterspell, Arcane Denial for a counterspell, Cloud Shift. This way, Sygg couldn't enter again and again, getting that easy B ability we like to see. Counterspell for a counterspell, Dawn's Truce for some protection, Dovin's Veto for a counterspell, Ephemerate to blink our creature, Generous Gift for some removal, Ghostly Flicker for a blink spell, Negate for a counterspell, Parting Us for a blink spell, Path to Exile for a removal spell, Pongify for some removal, Reality Shift for some removal, Slip Out the Back for some phasing out, which is protection, Stroke of Midnight for some removal, and Source of Plowshares for some removal. Nothing really special here in terms of the lands, I don't think. No, nothing really. And then we have 3 different board wipes. We have Austere Command, River's Rebuke, and Supreme Verdict. Overall, nothing like too complicated we're trying to do with this deck. We're mostly just here in order to deal some damage to our opponent and make the most out of it. Overall, pretty fun. Like, definitely works pretty well for like the Jin Sakai deck, I'd say. Overall, as his own commander, not like my top pick so far from the Lorwyn Eclipsed. Check out the other Lorwyn Eclipsed videos to see which one it is. I mentioned it in the video. But thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.